Okay, now you need to select your name. If not, you can enter a name. I'm going just to type test correction, for example, and this should be correction. Okay. Just had to read the information regarding the test, and then you had to go to the button at the bottom. My name not being part of the list, I've got a different message, but that's okay. So what was expected was starting by renaming your file with your name, just with the correction later. Anyhow, uh, now in the format sheet, which is sales format, here we're expected to copy the format from here. So there is an option which is going sales by sales and using that. But if you were paying attention during my first class, just need to do this, and in a matter of seconds it's done, just to see if you were paying attention or not. Okay, to crack on, we want to convert our data here in this sheet into a table, so that's an easy thing. Just either insert here table, can go to here, put format as a table, or you've got the shortcuts Control L or Command T. Just make sure that you've got this checked and click OK. It was requested to change the color, so you can do whatever you want, just to show that you were able to. Likewise, it was requested to change the name, so just call it TBL sales data, whatever you can call it the way you want, just to make sure that you were changing the name by default, which was table something. Okay, right now, if I go back to what is expected, new column, change name, want to insert a column between equipment and quantity, and it will be unit or price per unit, and increase the size of the headers. So here, between equipment and quantity, I'm going to insert column. So just selecting the column here, right click, insert, and column on the left. And I want to rename that unit price or the unitaire en français. And I will have later on to get the values in here. Now my headers, which are here, I want to increase the size, so I can select here. So twice the size is 29. Type 29, enter. Or the other option is from here to move the size. One or the other was fine. Back to what is expecting, applying a format of your choice to quantities greater than 1, and format for lines the entire row when the year ends 2024. So back to here. So I'm selecting quantity, and I want to have a specific format when the value is above 1 or 4, I don't remember, greater than 1, so above 1. So just cells which are greater than, and the value here is 1. And I can see that here it's 1, it's not formatted. I'm just going to take some other format just to show that I can change the format from the one by default. And what was requested, if the year here is 2024, I want to get the full line with a format. So I'm going to select all my data and write a formula which applies for this cell and can be extended everywhere else. So let's do that. Conditional formatting, new role, and it has to be a formula. If you have a Mac, you need to select Classic to be able to access these values. And here I want my cell A9 to change format. If in K9 I've got the value 2024, and to get the whole line I need to put a dollar sign in front of the letter. So it will be dollar K9 equals 2024, and I can put a format. Let's say I'm going to put this in bold, italic, and OK. And all the lines with 2024 are now in bold, italic, dark red. And I realize that there is this date which I forgot to change the format. So I'm just going to select here a date format, short date, and I'm good. Back to what is requested. Lookup. So next step is to get in my column unit price, the price which is matching the equipment, and the values are here. So I can change this into a table. I can name this, so I won't have to use the dollar sign, or I can use the dollar sign. That's the different options. So let's name this just to show how that works. And I'm going to call that TBL, even if it's not an actual table. And equipment, EQPT, for example, and price. Okay, and now it's entered. When I select this, I've got the name. When I copy down or write, it's not going to change. So I can use my formula here. I can use recherche VLOOKUP. I'm looking for the equipment. I'm looking in the list table I've just created. So it's called equipment price. And what I want to get is the price, which is in the second column. The value excavator was in the first column. And what I want to get is in the second column, the price. I absolutely want an exact match. And I can here get the results after validating. Just going to change that into a monetary format and without any decimals. I don't think I've got any decimal here. So, okay. And we're good. So next step is with the if function, create a reduction column with discount. So 10% for equipment, 5 it's if it's 2 or 3, and 0 if it's 1. So back to the correct here. I'm going to discount rate, name this column here, and I will use if, and as I've got 3 different cases, I need to have 2 embedded if functions. I will start with the first one. So equals if this value is equals to 4. For example, that's an option. I can start with that. Then in this case, I will have 10%. And now if this value, because I need to start with a new if function. I know I don't have 4, and now it's either I've got 1 or I've got 2 or 3. So it's easier to write this equals to 1. In this case, it's 0% discount rate. And otherwise, so if it's not 4 and if it's not 1, that means that I will get 5%. I'm closing my parentheses, so the first one in red for the second if, and the second one for the first if here. So this is my discount rate. I can change that into percentage, and this works perfectly fine. So let's check what is the next step. Okay, so I've done this. And now slicers. I'm going to create two slicers, one with the country, pays, one with the year, année, and put them into the area here in gray. So to create slicers from a table, just click somewhere on the table, go to the tab that is dedicated to tables and insert a slicer. Let's say country and year. You can select the two of them at the same time. Let's put this one here. I'm going to resize it. This one being a bit bigger. More countries. I'm going to here slightly bigger than the other one. Here I can put this and again here. If I want to get the exact size here, I can use this. So this one is 3.14, this one 3.18. So this here. And what is requested is to have the values on two rows. So I'm going to change the number of columns. Okay. Here again, I'm going to change the number of columns. So I've got two rows here. Well, United Kingdom and Netherlands is not big enough. So let's put it back on three columns, and even on three, this is not big enough. Okay, yeah, that's not cool. I can change the size. Here you can see I don't have exactly the three. There is one bit missing, so I can change, decrease the height of the buttons. So this way they are slightly smaller and everything enters in the system. Next step is what is requested for the next step calculation. We want to add sales amounts column and make the calculation. We want to add total row in our table and display the average. So let's start by creating the new column, which is chiffre d'affaires, whatever, revenue, amount for the sale. Okay, that's not the important points. So what we need to get is equals the unit price time the quantity. So this gives me the total amount, but this does not include the discount rates. So I need to remove from that the discount, which is the same value multiplied by the discount rate. So I can write it again entirely, or I can use multiplied and say that I need to multiply this by 1 minus the discount rate. Whichever you want to use works. Okay, so and this is the value including the discount. So I should get the same value when I've got a 1. You can see that. Okay, next step. So what was requested was to get total line. So using the tool, I just need to click here. And what I got here is the total all of the amounts. Let's check what was requested. I think it's average. Yes, average and the sum of quantities. So let's go back here. Quantities, I want to get the sum. So just selecting here sum. And here to get the average, I just need to tick average. So the average sale is slightly above 1 million. And I've got in total 643 equipments that are sold in this list. Now, what I'm going to do, as I need to get the quantities, in this cell, I'm going to type equals and the sum quantities. Why is that? Just because I don't want to scroll up and down, back and forth. And now I think that what was requested is to check with some countries. Yes, So using the slicer, here I need to get the quantities for France in 2022. So for that, I just need to check here, and I can type here 96, which is the value. And if I change to 2023, value is 77. Now if I go back to Spain, sorry, Spain instead of France, in 2023 I've got only 10, when in 2022 I was having 9, so it's a slight increase, nearly 10%. Just realized that I forgot to change the color of this to match this one. So I just need to get in the slicer tab and select the yellow color. Could use a darker yellow, but I don't think it's really nice. So I'm back to this one. Next step was to add uh, an evolution rate here. So let's going to use my paintbrush, and this I'm going to go back to line to get something better. My evolution rate here is equal to the difference, so the arrival value minus the initial value between parentheses, and this has to be divided by the initial value. So closing the parentheses and dividing by the initial value. So this is the evolution rate. I can copy it down and use for these two cells a ratio percentage format with 1 decimal. We can see that the values in France have dropped nearly 20% when there was an increase of more than 10% in Spain for the selling of the equipment. This I can get rid of it because it was just to avoid going up and down with my table. And I think we are quite good. There is only, yeah, the next one. We want to select two countries, Netherlands and Germany, and as well as 2 years, which are 23 and 24. So just make sure if you want a multiple selection, you just need to check. Click here. So now I can select 2020. Oh, sorry, I deselect. So now I can select two, or what I can do is using the control key. So if I select Netherlands, hitting the control key here, I can also select Germany. And this is it. So for the next step, what is requested is to create a pivot table from the data. So let's click somewhere in our table, the data. Go to Insert tab, Pivot Table on a new sheet. That's perfect. We can see that we've got the data. The fact that it's already filtered doesn't change anything. Just hitting the OK key. It was requested to rename the sheet PT. So just right click on the name or double click to select the name, type the name and hit the enter key. So what we want to get is the total quantity, so the sum of quantities by country and by year. So we can put it this way, or the most usual way would be to have something like that. So now setting any cell from our pivot table, I'm going to insert the chart. So this one, I don't think it's really relevant. That doesn't change anyway. Just want you to insert a chart and then to make slight changes. This one is awful, but I'm going to change it. Inverting, so that's here, going to creation and inverting lines, rows and columns. We should have something which is better. So yeah, so we can see that France, the evolution for each country during the period of time, United Kingdom only started in 2021. So we can see that there are far more cells in front than anywhere else. Anyhow, what was requested was to remove the button. So just right click on any of these buttons and then hide all buttons. And I also was requesting you to add a title for that. So either you go to plus and use tick here is this box, or if you have a Mac, there is no plus. So you have to go to creation here and then add a title for the charts. We are going to put at the top. So just going to select all the text and put a name which is say sum of items sold per country and year. Whatever you want, doesn't change much. We can just selecting this, going here to home, putting in bold, slightly bigger, and underline just for fun. Okay, so what I was expecting from you was to create a pivot table and a chart, whatever, even if the chart is unreadable, I just want to make sure that you are capable of creating one, hiding the buttons, and putting a title which makes sense. And that's it. Okay, I hope you enjoyed working with me this year, and who knows, maybe see you next year. Bye.